Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know by now I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, today we're going down memory lane. I wanted to show people that you can still produce great content with old gear. You don't have to use the latest singing or dancing cameras, camcorders, whatever. Although saying that, today I kind of am, because I've got my wide shot there filming with my Sony A7C and the Tamron, I'm not sure which Tamron lens, but a Tamron lens. Then I've got my Canon EOS R doing the close-up shots with a nifty 50 fitted to it via the EF to RF adapter. And then I've got a wide shot right at the back there, which is my A6600 with, I'm not sure what lens is on that one. And then I've got my ZV-1 picking up the close-ups of what we're going to talk about. Now, we're looking at a camcorder that was released at the end of 2012. So it's 7 to 8 years old and it's absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's only HD. There's always a lot of debacle about whether you need to shoot in 4K, whether HD is good enough. And you know, it's a real mixed bag. Now I generally shoot everything in 4K, and there's a number of reasons for that. If I've got a shot slightly wonky, I can straighten it up in the edit, I can crop it a bit tighter. That's the main reason. I do edit on a 1080 timeline and I export it to YouTube in 1080. So I can actually get away with filming in HD, and there's merits to that. Firstly, file sizes are much smaller, so your computer will handle it a lot better, and it takes up a lot less storage space on your computer or on external hard drives. I've got loads of external hard drives with, you know, so much data on them. So there's definitely merits in shooting in HD. This camcorder here, the one we're looking at, is the Sony HXR NX30. And as I said, it came out in 2012. Now you can pick these up on the second-hand market for anything from £300 upwards. I got this one in, you know, not the bestest of conditions, best of conditions, and I got it for 400 quid. I've had to put an Ilaki band around the battery compartment to you know, make it fit. And also the batteries, the two batteries that came with it are a little bit suspect. They don't last 5 minutes. But you know, a couple of batteries on Amazon, no problem at all. They're not expensive. And here it is. This is the NX30. It's a really nice little camcorder. Now, how you can bring it into the 21st century is actually using an Atomos recorder, because the internal codecs on these old camcorders isn't the best. It's okay, and it'd probably be fine for the likes of YouTube. But if you want better codecs and you want to record in, say, ProRes H22, H22? Yeah, 422, HQ 422, then just get a cheap Atomos recorder. I'm actually using the Ninja 5. You can see there I'm using the Ninja 5, but that's somewhat overkill, because it's a 4K recorder. You don't need a 4K recorder, you just need something like the Ninja 2. A couple of £100, you know, with a drive. And you've got a ProRes 422 recorder. It's great, great, great. Or something like the Ninja Star. Got it. Oh yeah, here we go. You could even get something like this, the Ninja Star, which I've got two of these. They just take a little compact CFast card in the side, very tiny unit, HDMI in, and now to give you ProRes 422, and look how compact that is. That'll fit on the top there quite nicely. No monitor with it, obviously, but then the camcorder itself has got a nice, believe it or not, touchscreen monitor. So, you know, you can touch the screen to get your focus points. It's got touch to focus, believe it or not, but it has, even though it's made in 2012. It's got many other features. It's got gimmicks as well. They did used to put gimmicks in their camcorders back in the day. Night shots. It's basically sort of a green image or black and white image. There's other things. It's got a projector on the side here, so you can actually, once you've recorded something, you can turn the lights out and project it onto a white wall. None of these things I'll ever use. But there's one feature that I really, really do like, is it's in-body image stabilization. In fact, it's in the lens. And what do they call it? They call it, or they did call it, yeah, balanced optical steady shot. Balanced optical steady shot. And it's a great technology where basically the sensor wobbles. How do I describe it? You need to see it. I'll try and show you. I'll do a cutaway and so you can see. But the whole sensor block is moving as the camera moves, so it moves with you, a bit like on a gimbal. So you get a really, really nice steady image. What a great piece of technology. On the side here, it takes standard SD cards, or it takes these crappy, thin little Memory Pro stick cards. Does anyone remember those? The Sony Memory, what we call it? Memory Pro. Yeah, Memory Stick Pro. They didn't last very long, did they? It wasn't a technology that lasted long, but it takes those as well as your standard, you know, run-of-the-mill SD cards that go in the side of the camera, and it's got a built-in 96 gigabyte memory built into the actual camcorder. So again, isn't that great? I've been out on a shoot a couple of times and I've forgotten my SD cards, and you know, you're knackered. But with something like that, if you haven't got your SD cards with you, or you forget them, or they're corrupt, it's got an internal 96 gig drive. Now, you know, this doesn't happen these days, but that was back in 2012, and they actually thought of that, which is, I think, is staggering. And I'm, you know, really impressed with the fact that that was thought of back then, but not, you know, integrated these days. And obviously, if you're outputting HDMI, you're outputting straight to your Atmos recorder, and that gives you your backup internally, because it will record internally, as you might be able to see. It's recording that internally, but it hasn't got trigger. You can't trigger the recorder, but then you can just set that manually. So you got your backup. The same if you was using the Ninja Star. So, you know, you got your backup either or, but you get much higher quality on the Atmos recorder. So you're actually bringing these old camcorders up to a good spec, because you're getting really good ProRes 422. Well, actually it isn't 422, I lie, because the HDMI won't output a 422 signal, so it's a 420 signal, but it is ProRes. So, you know, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, battery low on the Atmos now. You know, when you go out and do any filming, do remember to charge your batteries up before you go out and do any filming, because it does help. So, you know, using an external recorder, you're going to get better quality, and it's going to be, you know, a lot better for your edit suite as well. But if you want to go out compact, this, yeah, it's great, because this camcorder is so compact. I mean, it's tiny, but also I bought this not just to prove to myself that you can still use. You can't even get these things off. Do you know what? If there's one thing I hate about this industry, of these crappy little adapters, I don't like these little gimbal things. I don't like these little things. They're not very good. If anyone can recommend a really good quality one, I know Small Rig make a good one. I've not tried the Small Rig ones. Maybe that's what I need to do, order them from China. But yeah, these little adapter things are not very good. Yeah, so let me just put that down. Turn that off. It won't go off. Okay, we'll worry about that in a minute. If you want to go really, really compact, the fact that it has got this balanced optical steady shot built into it, you got a really, really tiny rig. And it's because it's a camcorder, it's very, you know, for us oldies, it's you know, we're used to using camcorders like this, and it is phenomenal. Look how tiny, look how compact that is. But I got it because I need to test Pro XLR microphones, and with these modern SLR style cameras, DSLRs, the mirrorless, they don't have XLR inputs. There's one or two you can get an XLR adapter. For example, with the Sonys, you can buy the K2M or K3M adapter to enable you to plug in XLR microphones, or you can use an external recorder, like I have, you know, the Zoom recorders, Tascam, whatever. So there are obviously workarounds, but this has got it all built in, of which the Pro camcorders have. If you look online at any pro kit, or if you own any of a pro kit, you know what I'm talking about. And what they have is usually on the handle, but somewhere on the camera, you've got 2 XLR inputs, which this has. You can see here on the side here, it's got the 2, I can't even get that open. There we go. So it's got the 2 XLR inputs on the side of the camcorder. So you can plug in 2 pro level microphones. I've got the cheap Sony, I don't know which model it is, but the cheap Sony one plugged into there. And you know, I can actually test. I've got the Sennheiser MKE 66, no, MKE, yeah, MKE 600. So I've got the Sennheiser MKE 600. That'll fit beautifully on there. That'd be a nice fit on there. XLR cable straight into here. And likewise, I've got the very telephoto long Marantz one. 50 quid I paid for that. I was well chuffed with that. I haven't tested it yet. So it'd be interesting to see what that's like. But of course, what I can do now, I don't have to rig around with adapters, external recorders, etc, etc. I can literally use this little camcorder, plug the microphones in, and I've got well, I've got 2 options. I can use the shot from this camcorder as the video, or I can use this as a guide track, you know, the video part of it, and not use the video, but just use the audio. So it's brilliant, because on the side here you've got your manual audio controls. So it's fully manual, and you've got your manual control dials on here for adjusting your audio levels, which is what I so miss on the, you know, these mirrorless cameras. Although I will say, with the Canon EOS R, a lot of people criticise the bar, the touch bar, the function bar. I don't know what they call it. I call it a touch bar. And I've got that set pre-assigned for adjusting audio levels up and down. There will be a link somewhere up here. I'm not sure where YouTube puts them. I'll put a link to the Canon EOS R. I think it's a really great camera and very underrated. You know, I mean, it's a lot better than a lot of reviewers are saying that it is. And I actually say I'm filming with it now, filming in 4K. It has got that crop, but look, the image is great. It's the tight shot. I'm shooting with the, as I said earlier, the 50f 1.8. Got lovely bokeh in the background. And because of a dual pixel autofocus in 4K, nice and sharp. It's wicked. But there we go. Yeah, so this camcorder has got the manual audio controls. It's got, as I said, a 96 gig internal hard drive, touchscreen monitor. You know, comes on the minute you open the flap, which is, you know, great. Fiddly controls. You would expect that. It's a tiny, tiny little unit. I've got this dial here, this wheel on the front here, set for adjusting exposure. So that will take the exposure down and take the exposure up. That's what I've got that one set for. You know, zoom lever on the back here for you know, zooming in and out, because obviously it's got a built-in lens. You wouldn't think that looking at it, but there is a lens built into that. And you know, very, very good. It's the you know, traditional style camcorder. That's about all I can say about it. Just, of course, with a camcorder, there is no record limit. So provided your card doesn't run out, you know, you've got enough space on your card, and provided the battery doesn't run out on you. But with those, you know, apart from those 2 things, there is no record limit. It'll just keep on running. And that's great with a camcorder, where, again, all these mirrorless cameras, apart from my Sonys, they don't have record limit. The A7C hasn't got a video record limit. Neither has the A6600 or the ZV-1. That's why I adore, well, that's not the only reason, but I adore using them, because the autofocus is great. No record limit. I can power them from a USB block, which is what I am doing. Everything's honky-dory. And you know, and that's you know, the other wonderful thing, as I said, with camcorders, there is no record limit. So there we go. That's an old 2012 camcorder, but still produces really nice HD footage, and even better when you put in an Atmos recorder. So I think the point I'm getting at, and I've made this point in previous videos a couple of years ago, if you've got old camcorders and they've got HDMI out on them, like the Sony HV-1, That's an old tape camcorder. It's a HD tape camcorder. Well, it's kind of HD. And if you plug in an Atomos recorder and that, you're updating the camcorder, because the Atomos is taking the image straight off the sensor via the HDMI port, you know, and that's what you can do with this. It's great. So don't dismiss your old gear, you know, because it's old. What I'm going to do now, I think it's only fair that you do see what the video quality is like from the from this little baby. So I'm going to switch out now and switch over to this. I'll probably set this up sort of wide-ish, and I'll leave the sound as it is because I don't want to muck around with the sound quality. But let's now put this on the tripod, set it up so we can see, you know, what the image is like coming off this camcorder. And I won't use the Atomos recorder. I'll just literally use the camcorder going straight onto its internal memory, or the I might use an SD card, I don't know, or the memory stick Pro card. So here we go. So let's have a look. Okay, so the image you're looking at now is coming straight off the memory card from the HXR NX30. Well, I say straight off a memory card. A memory card has been put into the computer and the images have been transferred over. But what you're looking at is the NX30 image. As I said to you earlier, it is only HD, but HD is great. It saves on hard drive space. It saves money because it's saving on hard drive space. It saves on your computer power. It uploads to YouTube quicker, and HD is fine. You have to be a little bit careful with cropping because you haven't got enough pixels there to crop really tight. But if you've got the image framed correctly, not a problem. I'd say the other thing I really like about the NX30 as well, same with most camcorders, you've got a tally light. You can actually see that the damn thing is recording. There's a red light that comes on, so you can see that it is actually recording. Same as on the ZV-1, Sony have put a tally light on it. Fuji have got it on some of their cameras. But most of these modern SLR style mirrorless cameras don't have tally lights. My Canon EOS doesn't have a tally light. Yeah, I know it comes up on the screen, but you know, it's nice to have a nice bright light on the front of the camera so you can actually see your recording. So, you know, that's the image quality from the NX30. The audio is actually coming from the Saramonic Blink 500, which I've got here. It's a wireless microphone, which I've got wired straight into me as A7C. So I'm not taking the audio from the NX30. Although I could do, it's got the XLR inputs and I have got an XLR microphone plugged into it. Obviously, when I do, you know, my microphone tests, such as the Sennheiser microphone here, I will be, you know, taking the sound from the NX30. I may even be using the visuals. But on the monitor of the NX30, it looks very pink, really, really pink. I've got a feeling it's an old monitor. I mean, it is. The camera is made in 2012, and it is a second-hand camera, and the monitor's got quite a few scuff marks on. So I'm not going by what I'm looking at. It looks well out. I suspect the image will be fine. We'll know once I look at it. So there we go. That's the Sony NX30, and you know how you can use old kit and, you know, bring it back to life, particularly if you're using an Atomos recorder. If a camera's got a HDMI output, use it, make use of that HDMI output, and buy a cheap second-hand Atomos HD recorder, something like the Ninja 2, the Ninja Star, or the Blade, the Ninja Blade. There's lots of them, and they're really, really good value, well worth, you know, well worth buying. So there we go. I hope you found this useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Let's look down the Canon lens now. Oh dear, so many cameras. Yeah, if you do enjoy this channel, please subscribe. Really helps me grow the channel. Really, really appreciate that. And I really do appreciate every single person that has subscribed. It means a lot to me, and it really does. Motivates me and gives me the incentive to want to produce more content. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned for more content relating to video photography and audio. Cheers for now. Bye.